Konnichiwa, I'm Otakus, I'm the Gaming Otaku, and welcome back to another SMITE Guide. So today, we are covering the Guardian that made everybody think maybe Hi-Rez doesn't know what they're doing. Artio. Artio's passive is Decompose. If an enemy god is hit by one of Artio's damaging abilities, they will lose physical and magical protections for 4 seconds, stacking up to 8 stacks. Okay, to prevent confusion for any new players to Artio, we're going to start with Artio's ultimate / fourth ability. So Artio's ultimate is Shapeshift. This ability allows Artio to change between Druid and Bear stance. Also, each time Artio hits an enemy with an ability, she gains a stack of movement speed and MP5 that lasts up to 4 seconds with a max of 8 stacks. Artio's first ability is Energy Surge / Maul Prey. This is a cone-shaped ability that, if in Druid form, will damage enemy gods and minions. For each enemy god hit, all allies within 55 units and Artio will be healed. However, if in bear form, this ability will do 2 swipes of damage. Artio's second ability is Entangling Vines / Ferocious Roar. This is an AoE ability that cripples and reduces the physical or magical power of all enemy gods within the radius. If in bear form, Artio stuns all enemy gods within range while also increasing her magical and physical protections. Artio's third ability is Life Tap / Heavy Charge. This is a line ability that, if in Druid form, will damage and slow all enemy gods and minions it hits for 5 ticks. For each tick hit, Artio will be healed, and if all ticks hit the same god, they will be rooted. If in bear form, Artio will charge forward, dealing damage and slowing all enemy gods she hits. Alright, so Artio's combos are actually, I guess, pretty simple. She has a bunch of combos, and it really just involves a bunch of button spamming, but what you really need to do is, there's technically 2 different variants of this, depending on what you want to do, and just depending on the enemy team. But usually what I'll do is I'll activate the cripple first, then transform into the bear, stun them, and then just absolutely destroy them. After like the stun and all that, it really doesn't matter what you do. Now, most people will, not most, but some other people will do the stun, then the cripple, then just absolutely wreck face and just fucking annihilate them. So really, the only, like, I guess major combo is to make sure that the cripple is up and then you stun and then just absolutely wreck face. So that's really about it. We are going to move on over to the abilities and what order to level them up. Okay, so the order in which you want to max your abilities is, I personally max my 1 first. However, if we're talking a conquest standpoint, I would put my first point into my 3, the Life Tap. It's the safest way to wave clear early game, so that way you're not putting yourself in a really open position to get to the side of the wave and then hit it, and then, you know, the ADC and Guardian on the enemy team is just smacking you in the fucking face. So also, you know, it heals you, so you're healing yourself and staying a somewhat distance away from the waves and being helpful clearing the wave. So but still, I would max my 1 first, so that way you're providing a lot of team healing during the team fights, and you're just dealing out quite a bit of damage. Next, I would recommend going into the 2, the cripple. However, about level 7, I'll put a second point into my my 3, just so that way the heal is a little bit more significant, because it does fall off if you don't put any more points into it for a little bit. So around level 7, I recommend putting another point into that. But second ability, your 2, would definitely be the one you want to max next for the duration of the cripple and the protections and all that you get when you stun people. And then from there, I will max my 3 and max my ultimate / transformation last, mainly just because that movement speed and MP5 isn't all that important to me. If I want to gain on somebody, hopefully I have my dash up, and if not, I usually build Shield of Regrowth or Gem of ISO on Artio. We'll get into that when we get to the build. So yeah, anyways, just let y'all know, this is the way I level up Artio. This is not how you need to do it. This is just a recommendation, as is the build. So there's no need to leave hate comments or anything like that of this is bad way to level up or this is a bad build. Again, it's all just my opinion and recommendation for the newer players. I'm hoping that you all will do it the way you see fit and kind of your playstyle. So anyways, we're going to move on over to Artio's pros and cons. Okay, so even after the nerf that she got this past update, Artio is still really, really, really good. She has a lot more pros than she does cons. Now, that doesn't make her the most perfect guardian. She's still situational, just like any god in this game. It's just the pros and cons are going to make her look like she's the best guardian in the game, which is not entirely true. Artio's pros are the fact that she has a lot of team healing, and she even has a self-heal. So it's going to make her very relevant in team fights, especially since when you're in a team fight, you're all really close together and just jumbled up into pretty much a small space, depending where you're at. And so when Artio uses her 1, she's going to be healing not only herself, but her allies for a lot, depending on how many enemy gods she hits. Also, she has a lot of CC. She has a cripple. She has a slow that stacks if she hits all the ticks. She has a cripple. I think I literally just said that. She has a stun. She has just a mass amount of CC. She has protection reduction, all of that. So she's just absolutely good. And then back to the cripple. It's a mobile cripple. It follows her. She is a moving cripple that lasts for, I believe, about 5 seconds. I will be honest, I didn't read the ability over 100%. And then the fact that just like any stand switcher, she has 6 abilities. Most would argue 7 because of the ultimate, the actual switch stance ability. But it's not really an ability. It's what you use to transform, and sure, it has an extra effect, but in my opinion, it's not an extra ability. So you have 6 abilities. So that's about it for her pros. Now her cons are pretty simple, mainly just the fact that she does have a high skill level. It's not necessarily easy to learn her. Most would argue, dude, she has one of the easiest kits in the game. Yes, but it's a matter of you're not supposed to just spam the ability. I kind of showed in the combos spamming the ability, and you really shouldn't do that. You should space them out so that way you're chaining your CC, and also just dealing damage in a decent period of time, so that way you can just chain all of your abilities constantly. So it is sort of a spam, but also space them out. Don't just use them. So, and most people would say this god's easy because you just spam the abilities when really you can't. And then also, she doesn't really have any CC immunity abilities. So due to this, if an Ares gets a hold of her with his ultimate, there's a possibility she's fucked. Yes, she does have her 2. She can get her own protection. She has heals. But if he catches her off guard, she will die. And this goes for any god that, you know, applies really hard CC that could end up getting her killed. So that's really it for the cons. If you have any more pros and cons that I didn't mention, do mention them in the comments below. But we are going to move on over to the build. Okay, so Artio's build is pretty plain and simple, just like any Guardian. However, just like any Guardian, it does require a lot of situational items. There is not just one set build for Guardians, but in my opinion, Guardians are the easiest gods to build in Smite. So we're going to start off with Watcher's Gift, and then I don't have it here, but I would recommend Watcher's Gift and Lona's Mask, and then 2 of each pot, and then work your way into wards, and then work your way into Shoes of Focus or Reinforced Shoes. I wouldn't really recommend Shoes of the Magi. It's not, Artio does do quite a bit of damage, but not enough to classify needing Shoes of the Magi like a Kumbhakarna would or something like that. Next, I would recommend Sovereignty, and then Rod of Asclepius, or as I call it, Rod of Ass Claps. As you all are aware, Artio does have healing, so Rod of Asclepius would be good. However, if you want to go Gauntlet of Thebes next and then like save Rod of Asclepius later, that is fine. I go at 3rd item. Then Heartward Amulet and Gauntlet of Thebes. These 3 are kind of your core items. However, I do know that the Greedy Guardian is coming back, and we'll get into that in a minute. And then Spirit Robe, just because Spirit Robe is really good. However, this is a very situational item. If they don't have a whole lot of CC on their team, I would recommend going Mantle of Discord. She really needs to stop transforming back there. But Spirit Robe is just really good for anybody that has hard CC, like a Kumbhakarna or a Khepri, or just literally anybody with hard CC that this would be very handy for. Then situational items would be Voidstone for like the Greedy Guardian. I don't have it here, but Breastplate of Valor. Like I said, Spirit Robe, Pestilence if they have a lot of healing on the enemy team, Winged Blade if slows are becoming a problem, if that's the reason you are not very helpful in team fight. I know that Jade Emperor's Crown is in the meta for obvious reasons. It reduces the physical power of the enemy ADC and Assassin and so forth. And then In my opinion, shield regrowth is really good because Artio does slow down when she uses her life tap. So not only are they being slowed when she hits them with it, but she is also being sped up with the passive from this ability. Also, just the health, HP 5 and MP 5 and cooldown are very handy, especially if you're building the nice Guardian build. Then that cooldown reduction will be very helpful with Shoes of Focus. Then Gem of ISO. If you're going for more of like a bruiser build, I would recommend Gem of ISO because it'll just make the slow even more effective. And then the fact that you'll be slowing with every ability, not just one. And then Lotus Crown, because again, she has heals. So Lotus Crown would be good for just giving all your team protection, even more protections. This would be most effective with the Nice Guardian build. If you wanted to do like Shoes of Focus, Sovereignty, Lotus Crown, then Heartward, Gauntlet of Thebes, and then Rod of Asclepius, that would be awesome. That would actually be pretty effective in my opinion. But anyways, just like I said with the abilities that you need to level up, this is not a you need to do this thing. This is recommendation, and I'm hoping that you guys will take these builds as an idea for anybody new to RTO and evolve it into something that works for you. This is not you need to do. This is a I recommend you do this until you're comfortable with something else. So anyways, that is it. Thank you for watching, everybody. Don't forget to leave a like and or subscribe for your senpai, and comment below what god I should do next and if this god guide was helpful. And I will see you, bro takus, in the next video. See ya!